Hey guys, Todd here. Today we're going to install the GoTent from RealTruck. The only tools required to do the installation are included in the kit. We've got 5mm and 6mm Allen wrenches and a 13mm wrench. But I'll also be using a ratchet with a 13mm deep well socket to move the installation along a little quicker. Now make sure you subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with our latest content. Let's go ahead and get started. Now this is the way your tent will come out of the box. You'll notice the buckles and handles are on this side and the hinges are on that side. It's because the tent is going to swing open like so. Now all of these buckles and hinges are previously installed. However, they are easily adjusted with your included 5mm Allen wrench. Okay, now the tent is also going to come with some load bars in case you want to haul cargo on top of the tent. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to assemble the load bars and then how to install it onto the tent. Okay, so here is our load bar. What you're going to notice, if you flip it over, we've got a couple of holes on the bottom. It's going to be the same thing on the opposite end. So up on the top, what we're going to do is peel back the rubber here. You'll notice we've got some larger holes going through the top. In your kit, you're going to have some bolts with a 6mm head for a hex wrench. We're going to go ahead and drop those down through the top. Next, we're going to take our bracket. You'll notice we've got two holes going this way and two holes going this way. The ones here are going to line up to the bolts coming out the bottom. So we're just going to slide those bolts through the holes. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip it over. We'll take out of our kit. We've got some nylock nuts. Line them up. Once they're lined up, you'll notice that it can kind of wiggle around. So you just want to keep it straight and pulled as far this way as it will go. In your kit, you'll also have a 13mm wrench. What you're going to do is slide that wrench underneath so you can hold the nut in place and hold that still. That way you can take your 6mm Allen wrench and tighten it down into that nylock nut. All right, now we'll take our rubber gap filler and work it back into place. Just want to make sure the edges go underneath and hold in place. All right, repeat the same for the opposite side and repeat the same for the other load bar. Okay, so when you set your load bars, keep in mind that if you're going to be mounting a rack or something like that to the load bars, sometimes the load bars have to be a certain width apart. So make sure you keep that in mind as you're installing things. But just for the purpose of this video, I'm going to bring this in 15 inches on each side and also from the back. I've already got the front load bar in place. So let me go ahead and set this load bar in. Now you'll notice the brackets kind of line right up to the profile of the edge of the tent. What I recommend to do is take your tape measure and I'm going to bring it to 15 inches on this side and also 15 inches over here on this side. Once I've got that in place, I can just go ahead and pop it and it's locked in. Now I'm going to show you how to use the track system and line up the nuts behind it to lock it into the track system. Okay, so next in your kit, you're also going to have some other nylock nuts. The nylock end of it needs to be facing towards the tent. There's on the track, there's a larger opening here. The nylock nut slides into there and it can slide into the track. I've already got two of the nuts slid into the track. What we're going to do is go ahead and slide those over to line them up to our bracket. Okay, the way I like to do it is use my 5mm Allen wrench and just slide the nut in until it lines up to the hole. Then we can take that same 5mm Allen wrench, line it up to our Allen head bolt, and thread it in and snug it down. Repeat the same with the next one. And repeat the same for the other three bracket locations. Okay, now here we are at our truck rack. Load bars are required in order to mount this tent. We already have a pair of load bars installed onto our truck rack. Now, because of the way that the clamp system works, just about every load bar out there is going to be fine with this tent. Also make sure your front load bar is at least 9 inches away from any kind of vertical surface in front of it. Now, we recommend to have at least one other set of hands when you mount the tent up. So let's go ahead and set it up on top. Now we're at the bottom of the tent and we're looking at the track. Now we're going to have 2 tracks, one on each side on the bottom of the tent. What we're going to do first is pull the rubber end cap off of the back of the track, and you'll notice there's a shape in here. So what we're going to do in our kit, we've got a bolt and we've also got some of these plates. The bolt is going to go down through the plate like so. That way that captures the bolt so it can't spin. Outside of that it can spin, inside the plate it cannot. Then that plate is going to slide through the extrusion just like so. What we're going to do is slide 4 plates with bolts into each one of the tracks. Okay, now once you get all 4 of these installed inside the track, you want to slide these forward. You need to lift up on the tent to get these past the first load bar. But basically these need to surround each one of the load bars. So we're going to lift up on the tent. All right, and these are going to go to the front load bar. Repeat the same on the opposite side. Okay, so here is our mounting bracket. Now you'll notice we've got multiple holes for different load bar widths. What we're going to do is find the holes that match up to our load bar and run the bolts through those holes. Now keep in mind also these bolts, if they're not seated, they will spin. So if it's pushed up out of the bracket, it will spin. You won't be able to tighten it down. So you want to make sure it's pulled down inside that bracket. That's the way it's locked in place. So what I like to do to keep it from spinning is just kind of grab the bracket and slide it away, you know, kind of off center a little bit. That puts a little bit of bind on those bolts. And we can go ahead and take our nylock nut and get them started on each one of the bolts. Just turning it up until it hits the nylon locking mechanism. Now in your kit, you've got a 13mm wrench. To make this a little quicker, I'm using a ratcheting wrench. And what I'm going to do is just start turning this nylock nut until it reaches up and contacts the bracket. I'm holding the bracket in position nice and flat against the load bar. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and bring the other nylock nut up to the bracket the same way. Okay, now I've got everything drawn up to the bracket. It's still a little bit loose. So now what we can do is get everything centered and straight. And now we can go ahead and tighten the nuts down to the bracket. Make sure you do not over tighten the nuts though, because you'll start to bend the bracket. All right, repeat the same for the other 3 brackets. Okay, now that we've got the tent installed, I'm going to show you how to deploy it. In your kit, you're also going to have a key. This is actually more of a wrench that allows you to turn the levers that are locking levers that allow you to unlatch it. I'm going to turn it like so. You want to pull down on the handle to take any kind of bind off the latches, and then pull straight down. And now I'm going to go ahead and open the tailgate so I can step out. You want to lift up on the screen area to allow a little air into the tent. That way it will deploy faster. This bungee is here so that whenever you're packing it down, it draws everything in. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull the bungee down to the base and set it in place down here. All right, now if you look just to the left of your latch, you're going to notice you got a bracket with a hole in the center. That's where our rain fly rod is going to go. So what we're going to do is lift up the tent and pull out the rain fly rod. You're going to have 2 of these. You want to have the hook end facing down, and then the other end goes into the hole. It'll go in at a slight angle, and it goes in about 2 inches. What we're going to do is we're going to bend that up. We're going to take our rain fly, go over to the rod, and put the hook through the hole. Repeat the same on the opposite side. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and lift up the fly, bring out the ladder, and I'm going to show you how to set this up. Okay, now when you use your ladder, make sure you use it on a surface that is flat and not slippery. What we're going to do is show you this side of the ladder. Now you'll notice we've got some hooks that are here. This is what's actually going to be facing the tent and hooking onto the tent. And we've got this Velcro strap. Go ahead and pull that Velcro strap over. Now I'm going to put my foot on this bottom rung, and I'm going to lift up from here. And we're going to do one rung at a time. You'll hear it click. That's when it locks in place. All right, now I've got one more rung to go, but this is going to be high enough for me to hook onto the tent. So if you notice these two locations here, that's where we are going to attach our hooks. And bring that down. Make sure the ladder is straight with the tent. All right, lastly, we can go ahead and unzip and roll up the doors, secure it with the tethers. You can also do that on the sides if you wish. Well, that concludes the installation. If you found this video helpful, make sure and give us a thumbs up. If you want to know more about the product, check the link in the description below. And as always, if you have any questions, call the experts or visit us online at RealTruck.com.